Hello, and welcome to the Elden Ring Dark Mood install guide. This should be the ultimate definitive edition of this, meaning that hopefully I won't have to make another one of these in the future. However, if I do make minor changes to the guide, I add things or anything like that, you'll find a complete up-to-date version on the wiki in the form of this written guide. But basically I'm going to be using this as a backbone today to show you how to install visually. Alright, so let's get started. First things first, you're going to want to head over to erdm.wiki/download. This link, the link to everything that I talk about, will be down in the description. This is just a splash landing page that is helpful for getting started with playing Dark Moon. It lays out the 3 places you can download the mod, as well as some links to the Discord if you need help, Patreon if you want support, and just a portal straight into the wiki. And this will be replaced with the, this is the old install guide that just detailed Rocket Mod Launcher. But we're going to be going over Rocket Mod Launcher, how to install manually, as well as how to get seamless co-op and all of that in. So let's get started with the automatic install, which is Rocket Mod Launcher. So just a little background on Rocket Mod Launcher here. It is a mod download and install platform that supports Elden Ring and eventually more mods. Dark Moon is hosted on there, as well as Google Drive and Nexus. So it's a launcher, basically, that will download and install everything automatically for you without manual configuration needed. So first, obviously, you're going to need to download Rocket. There's 2 options to download Rocket here, either through this button or Nexus Mods. I'll just go ahead and explain Nexus Mods really quickly. This will be a place where you can download manual files and Rocket Mod Launcher. This just downloads the exe for Rocket Mod Launcher that installs it. It automatically stays updated, so you'll never need to download it again. Or you can download it by clicking this link, which will just take you to the Rocket Discord in this rules channel here, and you can download the exe from there. We're going to do that. Edge or Windows or something might complain that it's not a commonly downloaded file, or it could be a virus or whatever. It's just because it's an exe. If you're worried about that, then you can do the manual install. Windows won't complain about that. Just go ahead and open up the install and just follow the instructions here. It's literally just, if you want to create a desktop icon and all that, you can. And it'll just go ahead and install. Alright, that's all installed now, and we can go ahead and click Finish and launch Rocket Mod Launcher. And here you'll be greeted with this screen. This will populate in the future when Rocket supports more games than just Elden Ring. But for now, just click on Elden Ring, and it'll load, so just give it a second. There's a lot of mods in here. A lot of them are DLL mods, a lot of them are file mods. What we care about here is literally just Elden Ring Dark Moon here. We don't care about anything else, so you can filter that out by just searching, dark or whatever. You can favorite it and all that. And all you need to do to download it is click the poster, and it'll start downloading for you. Just a disclaimer here, you might be running into some errors at this download stage. That is just because Rocket sometimes has issues with downloads hanging, depending on users' network configurations. So if this happens to you, you can jump into their Discord and ask for help there, or of course there's always the manual install option, which you can also find the Google Drive link by just clicking the hamburger menu there and doing direct download. That only shows up if you haven't downloaded it yet, though. So now you can see here it says installing, and what that's doing basically is it's just unzipping the file. So Dark Moon uses a couple specific things that are specific to its sort of install and setup, and to make everything easier I just packed it all in for you, but there is a tiny bit of manual thing that you need to do even with Rocket to get stuff properly set up. So what you're going to want to do is click on the hamburger menu here and go to Open Local Folder. This will bring it right up. Rocket installs all of your stuff in your Steam Elden Ring game folder. So just at the top here, ERDM, easy peasy. And in here you'll find, all the manual files. These are just the direct download files pretty much. But the thing that you're going to care about is this mod folder right here. You're going to go into Mod, and then you're going to scroll down and click Setup UI Images, ERDM. This will open this command prompt. It is a tool called Gideon. It's by Ivy. And basically what this is doing is packing in all of the HD icons and the map tile textures that Dark Moon needs to display its UI properly. This is really simple to follow. It says here, welcome, this tool will try to install UI textures for ERDM. You'll need to run this again if you update the underlying mod or the Gideon project. What this means is basically anytime there's an update that's pushed that involves UI textures, you'll want to run this setup UI images shortcut again, just so that you can get everything in there properly. So just hit OK, and then this will say PS4 buttons. So in the past, people who have played Dark Moon in the past know that I used to ship 2 different versions, an Xbox version and a PS4 version. This basically, all this did was change between PS4 prompts and Xbox prompts. And Gideon has support for this, so I can just ship one version you choose with Gideon. So this says, would you like to change your controller prompts to the PS4 button layout? Select no if you're on a different controller or already using a UI mod for your controller prompts. This is a Gideon bonus feature, not a part of the mod you installed. If you click yes, it will change to the PS4 button prompts. If you click no, it'll do nothing, basically, so it'll fall back to whatever UI mod you already have installed, or it will just display Xbox button prompts. So for today, we're just going to click no, and then it will just go ahead and do its thing. So basically what it's doing is it's grabbing the vanilla files from your vanilla Elden Ring and then packing in my new files that Dark Moon says. And it's pretty quick. So you saw it there in real time. Process complete. You can now launch the mod and enjoy it with the provided UI textures. And now we're all set. We're all good to go. We can go ahead and launch Elden Ring Dark Moon via Rocket Mod Launcher. And all you need to do to that is just click the poster. This will come up that says Steam must be running in order to launch the game. It'll say that regardless of if you have Steam running or not. It's just a reminder for people who are like, why isn't it launching? Sometimes people forget that they need Steam running for Mod Engine to hook into so that it can actually launch the mod. All right, so we're here in Dark Moon now. And you'll see when you start up Dark Moon for the first time, there are some interesting things going on. So number one, you will more than likely be greeted with this privacy policy screen. That means a new save has been created. And that is an intentional feature with Dark Moon. Dark Moon uses its own save files. I will talk about that more later in the video, the specificity of that. But for now, all you need to know is that it's going to say there's a new save file. It's also going to say inappropriate activity detected. This is just because you're running with mods. It's fine. And it'll start in offline mode, which is good because you don't want to get banned. And then there you go. You're all set up. So a couple noteworthy things here. You're probably going to default to keyboard button prompts here. Not to worry. That's just a setting that FromSoft has, and it's defaulted to for some reason. It's just in here, sound and display, device for on-screen prompts. Change that to gamepad, and you can see we have our Xbox prompts down here. And lastly, before we move on to the manual install, if it ever says update down here instead of launch now, that just means a hotfix has been deployed. This is the great thing about Rocket, is that all you need to do is click on the poster when it says update, and it'll update and install that hotfix for you. So if it ever says update, just click on the poster, and it'll update the mod for you. Okay, let's move on to manual install. If you are more of a fan of manual installs, or you want to be able to merge mods easier, or, Rocket's not working for you in any way, or whatever, there is a way to manually install Dark Moon, and it is super duper simple. It used to be harder. Now it's super duper simple because we bundle in Mod Engine. 2 places you can directly download the files, Google Drive or Nexus Mods. Google Drive is what I recommend, just because they don't throttle your download speeds at all. Nexus does, unless you pay for it. That's, can be found here. The latest files will be up top at main files. And same here. The latest file will be just, right here, just a zip file. So we're going to go ahead and use Google Drive because, it's faster, like I said. It might take a minute. The base Dark Moon mod zip is 3.5 gigabytes. I've reduced it as much as I can. Alright, we've got that downloaded and opened here. I use 7-zip. You can use WinRAR or just Windows default extraction utility. Whatever works for you. But what you're going to want to do is extract this folder here. This is just in the root of it to wherever. I'm going to put it on my desktop. This also might take a minute depending on your CPU. There we go. Alright, it's been extracted. So just go ahead and double click, open up that folder, and here we go. If you watch the Rocket section, you might recognize this stuff. It's the same, it's the same download. But we're going to basically follow the same steps that we did before. So these are all the manual files. You're going to want to set up the UI textures. So head into Mod, scroll down to set up UI images, ERDM, double click that. And again, this is Gideon. It's a tool by Ivy that extracts the vanilla Elden Ring UI textures and packs in any new ones that a mod has deployed. So again, just hit OK. And then here, this is asking you whether or not you would like to change your controller button prompts to the PS4 layout instead of Xbox. This time we'll click yes. In the Rocket version, we said no. And then again, it'll just unpack the files from your Elden Ring directory. There we go, it's unpacked them, so now it's packing in everything. And there we go, process complete. Easy peasy, quick. And that's it for that. So now we back out. This is how you launch the manual version, is you just double click this right here, launchmod _ eldenring.bat. This is basically just launching your mod engine instance and boot straight in. And again, like I said in the Rocket section, Darkmoon does use its own save file. I will go into more detail about that later. Discord seems to want me to stream Elden Ring to my friends. What if I don't have friends? There we go. Again, this is a normal message. This is just meaning that you're playing in mods, and it's going to start you in offline mode. Ba 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 ba. And if we go into system here, you can see that we have PS4 button prompts. So Gideon worked, and everything's all good there. Yeah, so that's it. That's it for the manual install now. In both cases, you just download the files, extract them, and then run Gideon. Now, where this gets a bit confusing with manual installs is the hotfixes. With Rocket Mod Launcher, like I mentioned, you can just click update, and it will download and update all the updates for you. But for manual installs, it's a little bit different. So Darkmoon is deployed like this with version numbers that, correspond to this little graphic here. So if we take the information here, you can read through this whole thing if you want a full rundown. But basically, the first number denotes the version number, the second one denotes the feature release, the third one denotes the bug fix release, and the fourth denotes the hotfix. If that doesn't make sense, it's fine. Just think bigger number, most recent update. I'll show you some old hotfixes here. If we go in here, you can see these file names are a little bit strange. It's just because of the way that Rocket works, but you can see here the number is 1.3.1.6. So this is the 6th hotfix for release version 1.3.1. Hope that makes sense. Again, this is better in Rocket. Any of the first 3 numbers here that say release, these are actual releases, so you won't need to apply the files in this way. You can just download it and it'll all be packed and ready to go. If 1.4.1 comes out, you'll need to do this, but if 1.4.0.1, which is what we're about to apply, comes out, which is this, you will need to do this. So opening up a hotfix file, it'll look like this. It'll just have ERDM at the top here. And probably the easiest way to do it is just drill down into that ERDM folder, so you're kind of looking at both of them here. And we see we have mod here and mod here. Just extract that into there, and it'll say destination already has a file named regulation.bin. It'll probably have a lot more files in there than just this one, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Just click replace the file in this destination. Bada bing, bada boom. You're all updated. And of course, if there are multiple hotfixes out for one update, you'll need to apply them in order. So you'll see here that 1.3.1 had 6 hotfixes in its life cycle. There's duplicates here because, again, I used to release PS4 and Xbox versions separately. But you'll have to download all of these and apply them in order. So apply 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So just to recap here, if you're in the Discord and you see that a hotfix has been released and you're on a manual install, you'll want to go over to the Google Drive or the Nexus, download the latest hotfix patch, and then open it up, drill in until you see the mod folder or whatever, folders are in here. Drag it over, replace the files. You're all updated. That's the manual install for Darkmoon. They're both pretty simple. It's just that manual gets a little bit hairy when you have to apply hotfixes, but otherwise it's just downloading, extracting, running Gideon, then you're good to go. I've also provided a Darkmoon icon file for if you want to make a desktop shortcut or something. All you would need to do that is, in both versions, open the file location of the mod, right-click launchmod _ eldenring.bat, create a shortcut. You can call it, Darkmoon. Throw that baby on your desktop, right-click it, hit Properties, go to, where the hell is it? Oh, it's right here. Change icon. It's going to freak out. because the bat doesn't have any icons. And then just navigate to your ERDM folder, click the icon, click OK, click apply, click OK, and there you go. Now you've got a Dark Moon shortcut that'll just launch it straight from your desktop. Very cool. A popular mod that a lot of people like to play with is Seamless Co-op by Luke Huey. It's great with mods, and it works with Dark Moon fully. So here's how you install Seamless Co-op with Dark Moon. This process will be the exact same for both Rocket Mod Launcher and a manual install. First things first, you're going to want to download Seamless Co-op from the Nexus page or GitHub or, I think those are the only 2 official channels, but Nexus works fine. Just go ahead and open that zip file. And what we're going to do with it here is we are going to drop it into our Elden Ring game folder. You'll find this folder wherever you have Elden Ring installed in terms of your Steam library. The default directory for that is, on Windows at least, is C, Program Files 86, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Elden Ring game. And then all you're going to do is take these 2 files and drag them in. Now you're done with this zip, and next thing is to drill into the Seamless Co-op folder and open this, Seamless Co-op settings.ini. Just open it up in a text editor. Give it a second. There we go. Like Notepad. This works fine. What you're going to want to pay attention to is this section here that says password. Just co-op password here. You can use whatever you want. This is just like in vanilla Souls games where you have to set a password so you can play with your friends. I'll use, I don't know, Diddy Kong, sure, and then go ahead and save that, hit Control S or whatever, and just close out of there. Now, if you were playing vanilla Elden Ring, that's all you would need to do, you'd be done at this point, but we're not, we're playing Dark Moon, so we need Elden Mod Loader, which is a way to load DLL mods. Now, Dark Moon does load DLL mods by default, but this is just the recommended way to load Seamless Co-op is with Mod Loader, so we're going to go ahead and use that in this case. It also just helps because any mods that you have installed with Mod Loader will run no matter what mod you're playing, which is pretty helpful. Alright, so same thing with the Seamless Co-op thing. We're just going to drag these 3 files into the game folder, and then they're in there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, we're not done yet. What we need to do now is take the contents of the Seamless Co-op folder, copy those, Control-C, and then come over here and Control-V, paste them. Anything in this mods folder, and that's mods with an S inside the game folder, this is what Mod Loader will run. So this DLL right here is actual Seamless Co-op. That is what Mod Loader is running. We'll double-click this, or again, the same process of clicking the poster in Rocket. We'll go ahead and launch Elden Ring. God, this Discord thing is really annoying. And then you'll see here that it now says, welcome to the beta of Seamless Co-op for Elden Ring. This is a free mod. If you have paid for any launchers or packages with this mod, then you've been scammed. This is just saying that, hey, Seamless Co-op is up and running. And here we go. We've got Seamless Co-op down here running with Dark Moon. It's as simple as that. And this will help me nicely transition into DLL mods in general, and the currently one that is bundled with Dark Moon, but this may expand in the future. Again, check the written guide for further information. If you want to install other DLL mods like Skip the Intro or Erd Tools, stuff like that, those are some popular DLL mods, you can do that in one of 2 ways. The way I recommend it personally is by using Mod Loader, just because it makes it easier to, run all of your mods in one location. So, for example, if we wanted to install, skip the intro real quick, we just go over to Nexus and find it. This is a mod by TechieW. Just download it. Manual download. Slow download. Open. Yeah, super slow download. And you'll see it's already in a mods folder. So we just drag these 2. Bam. Now they're in the mods folder, which means it will load them. So if we could double click our shortcut from earlier, and this will load it up, and you'll see that it's just going to be a black screen until it skips those, eye-searing Bandai Namco and FromSoft logos. There we go. Straight in. Skipped the intro. This Discord overlay is going to be the bane of me. Now, if you don't want Seamless or any other DLL mods like Skip the Intro running, you can, remove them from this mods folder, and instead go into the actual ERDM install, and there's a folder here called DLL. And this is where you can install DLL mods specific to Dark Moon, or your specific Dark Moon installation. You can see there's already one here called Alt Saves. I'll get into this in a second. But, for example, if you wanted to install Skip the Intro, you just drag it in there. And we're not done yet. There is something you need to back out. and go to config_eldenring.toml. Open that in a notepad. And you'll see up here, these are where you will define external DLLs. All you need to do is type in comma to separate them, open parentheses, DLL/skip the intro.dll, .dll, and then close that parentheses, hit Control S to save, and then if we go ahead and launch Darkmoon here, you can see it didn't flashbang us, and it's loading skip the intro properly. There we go. It skipped the intro. Excellent. Thank you, Techie W. It's still loading Seamless Co-op because that's back in our mod loader folder. Like I've talked about before, Darkmoon does use its own saves, and this is the one actual bundled DLL that comes with Darkmoon, and the reason that it needs to be bundled with Mod Engine is Elden Ring alt saves by chain failure here. Now, I have more information on this in the written install page, especially if you go to their GitHub. There's a lot of information here about how to configure it to work with Seamless and everything. It should all work by default, but the thing I'm going to show you real quick is if you want to merge a save or, you know, just disable it because you have a different save you want to use. So probably the best way to disable it is to go into the config here and just remove this line. So now it'll just run skip the intro.dll. So if we launch now, it's going to use the Seamless Co-op save. It'll default to that. Let's see if that's true. Yes, so you can see now there's actually characters here because my .co2 file has stuff on it. So let's go ahead and reverse that change here and still use the alt save, and I'll show you how to merge saves. So on the written guide here, and this will be in the description as well, of course, I have a link to this save manager on Nexus. This is by... So just go ahead and download this, and I would just save it, you know, somewhere you can use it. We'll just put it in our ERDM folder. It's fine. It's a pretty simple utility here. You just copy a character from and to a save. We can see if we browse here, it only has support for SL2. There are save managers that have support for CO2, which is the Seamless Co-op folder, but ERDM uses, with chains alt save, it uses .erdm, so, you know, nothing's going to have support for that extension. But, you know, an easy way to fix that is to just change the file extension. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down to Windows, do run. You can also hit Windows run, and then just type in %appdata%, just like this. That'll bring you to your roaming folder. This is where Elden Ring saves are stored. So go to the Elden Ring thing. This is your, like, user ID or whatever. And here they are. Here are all the saves. There's a lot of, like, back folders or files and stuff here, and I have a lot of Seamless Co-op saves for some reason. But so this one right here, this is the one that Darkmoon is using, er00000.erdm. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy from our Seamless Co-op save that I had before. So we need to copy this to a different location because they're going to have the same name at the end of the day. So we're gonna just go to our downloads folder here. We're going to copy this. So this is our Seamless Co-op folder. We'll remember that. Change the extension to SL2. Hit yes. And then we'll take our ERDM folder and we'll just paste that in here. We'll change that also to SL2. Oop. There we go. And now we can go back to the save manager and say copy from. We want the one in downloads, which is the Seamless Co-op version. See, it's loading up all the characters there. And then we're going to say copy to this one. And then it'll just, you know, all the slots. It's going to populate all of them because there's no characters. Sure, Pussy Slayer. That works. So whatever you select here, it'll do you're copying this character. We're copying Pussy Slayer to slot 1. Copy. And then yeah. Ensure the back file has been deleted. Yes. Whatever. And now it'll open it up. There we go. SL2. So now we just rename this to .erdm. We can Control C to copy it. Back in our save folder here, we just Control V to paste, replace the file. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's launch Darkmoon and see if Pussy Slayer's there. Alright, click load game. And there he is. Pussy Slayer. Excellent! That's how you merge saves. It's pretty easy. You could also just change the file extension to any of your existing, like, entire saves to .erdm, and assuming everything's updated and fine, that should, in theory, work. We could actually just test that real quick. So we'll change we'll copy it first. Copy this, and then change this to .erdm. Get rid of that. And then we will launch Darkmoon. And if we load in here, yep, now we can see all of those characters are there. So that's an also really dead simple way if you want to just transfer all of your saved characters over. But I would not recommend just using a vanilla save. You are at risk of getting yourself banned if you forget to, remove modded items, or you log into vanilla, with a character that has a modded item on it and something like that. You might get banned. You won't be able to play online anymore in vanilla, which sucks, especially with DLC coming out eventually. And lastly here, just this section on randomizers and an FAQ. I'm not really going to show most of this. I just wanted to say that the instructions on 3 out of the 4 of these randomizer pages actually do work fully with Darkmoon. So if you want to do the Fog Gate randomizer, you could. If you want to do Summon randomizer, you could. If you wanted to do this Lighting Param randomizer, you could also do that. Also credit Fog Gates by the 5th Matt. Summon randomizers by King Boar, and Lighting Param randomizers by Rainer, who is a contributor to Darkmoon. Now the problem child here is Item and Enemy randomizer, also by 5th Matt. I believe the enemy randomizer works fine, but the item randomizer is not working with Darkmoon. This might change in the future, and if that is the case, this little blurb here will be updated, probably with instructions on how to do Item and Enemy randomizer, and I might make a video specifically on that, but for the time being, Fog Gate, Summon, and Lighting Param randomizers are the only ones that are fully compatible with Darkmoon. And then a few frequently asked questions I get with install instructions. This one here, why does it say save data corrupted? It shouldn't ever say that. Chain's alt save seems to have fixed this problem. But in general, if this ever happens to you, you can follow these instructions. I'm not going to show you because it's dead simple, and you can read about it on the written guide. So this one here, why does my game say event text for talk? You might see messages like this if you're not playing in English. Darkmoon officially only supports English right now. There is, I think, one fan translation over on Discord, but it's probably outdated right now. But you can always check the Discord. There's a channel for translations, and I'll put them in there if anybody decides that they want to do that. And then, how do I merge X mod with Darkmoon? There's a tutorial here by Rainer if you want to do that, but merges are not officially supported. They're a nightmare with overhauls. The more complicated the mod gets that you want to merge into Darkmoon, the more complicated the merge is going to be. That is the ultimate Elden Ring Darkmoon install guide. If I missed anything, leave a comment. But what would actually be more helpful is if you went over to the Discord and posted something here in installation issues, or just throw a message in general. Feedback and suggestions, bug reports. There's all kinds of things here that we will look at to try to get you all sorted out. Either way, thanks for watching. See you next time.